Picture this. You're in bed, feeling completely connected and at ease with your partner. You're enjoying every moment, and your body is responding exactly how you want it to, making you feel like a total stud. Want to make this your reality without relying on pills? Stay tuned to discover how to kick performance anxiety to the curb and be the confident lover you've always wanted to be. Ignore this advice, and anxiety will likely call the shots, tanking your performance and your true enjoyment of the experience. In this video, you'll learn why your brain can make you so nervous in bed and what simple things you can do right now to feel more relaxed and truly enjoy your partner. Why worrying about an erection or lasting long enough tanks your performance and how to overcome that. Some easy tricks you can use right away to feel more relaxed and confident so that you can perform like a rock star without needing ED drugs. And finally, beyond the tips shared in this video, I'll also be discussing how you can take the most direct route to eliminating your anxiety and unlocking your true full potential in the bedroom. Imagine your desire for sex is like pressing the gas pedal on a car. You want to go, the engine is ready, but your performance anxiety is like the emergency brake that's stuck on tight. No matter how much you press the gas of arousal, you're not going anywhere. The car isn't broken. The brake, your anxiety, is holding you back. I'm going to teach you how to release that brake so you can finally enjoy the ride. Let's talk about the psychological roots of performance anxiety. The fight or flight nervous system or sympathetic nervous system versus the parasympathetic nervous system or rest and reproduce nervous system. When you have performance anxiety, when you're worried about getting or maintaining an erection or worried about having premature ejaculation, by definition, that worry puts you into the fight or flight nervous system because you perceive that as a danger. And that releases stress chemicals, one of which is norepinephrine, which makes it very difficult to get or maintain an erection, right? Your body's not interested in reproducing when you're in fight or flight. It wants to get you out of danger. Also, when you're in fight or flight, you're much more likely to have premature ejaculation because your body naturally goes into the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight nervous system, right before you ejaculate. So if you're already there, right, you're much more likely to ejaculate quicker. We want to be in the parasympathetic. So when your focus is on your performance, when you're focused on and monitoring your erections, am I hard enough? Am I getting hard? Am I going to come too quickly? Am I going to climax too quickly? Then you take the focus off of what actually feeds your erections. You literally take the food supply away from your erections. Your erections are a consequence of you feeling turned on, of you feeling connected with your partner, of you feeling pleasure. And when you're focused on monitoring your performance, you're not focused on those things. Okay. So not only does it put you in fight or flight, but you're literally taking the food supply away from your erections. So you want to focus things on, like, instead of, am I hard enough, or am I getting hard enough, or what is she going to think if I come too quickly? Think about things like, man, her tits look amazing. Those type of things. Her lips are so red and plush. The things that you're seeing and how she's smelling and those type of things that really turn you on, that's what feeds the erections. That's where the focus should be, not on your actual monitoring of your performance. So thinking is actually what causes performance anxiety, right? Thinking about the wrong stuff, right? Thinking about your actual performance, ironically. Taking action, actually going for the things you want, the things that actually turn you on, help eliminate the performance anxiety. Now, it's there for a reason. Fight or flight's there for a reason. There are real dangers in the world, right? And for the longest time, that's what humanity had to deal with. But anxiety is a perceived danger. It's not even actually happening. You're just imagining what might happen, and that causes your body to sense danger and put you into the fight or flight nervous system. Now, one of the easiest ways to get out of here is stop focusing on fear, right? Love versus fear. Love connects you to your partner. Fear repels, right? Puts you away and actually disconnects you from your body as well, right? So one of the things is especially if you're in love with your partner, feeling that love for your partner can really help. But even if that's not a possibility, just gratitude itself, right? Gratitude and love are intimately connected. So you just feeling grateful for being in this situation in the first place, for having this, wonderful naked partner right next to you that you get to enjoy, and really, appreciating that and feeling that gratitude will flood your body with erection boosting biochemicals instead of those erection killing biochemicals that you get from anxiety. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. Now, reasons that you're feeling anxious. One of which is just the fear of disappointing your partner, letting your partner down. And that can really get into our head, just like I need to do a good job. I don't want to let her down. This whole concept of doing a job, right? How can you relax and enjoy the experience, right? Your partner wants you to be there with them, wants you to be present with them. So by you focusing so much on performance, you're actually robbing both of you, right? You're robbing both of you because you're better off having a less than perfect performance and being more present. But the irony is, the more present you are and the more you're focused on actually enjoying the experience, the more likely you are to perform well. But if things aren't going well, one of the things you could do is just, say you're not getting that erection, it's not coming on, or you're losing it. You can just say, hey, look, I'm in my head right now. Has nothing to do with you. Let's just slow things down and enjoy each other. Right. And that way you're reinforcing to her that she is not the cause of your erections not going to where you want them. Right. Which is what women's main fear is. You're just letting her know that it's actually you being in your head, which is the truth. Right. You're just letting her know the truth. And by you expressing that, it takes pressure off of both of you so that you can relax more, which makes it much more likely you're going to perform the way that you want to. Now, another reason that you can feel anxious is that you're just afraid of being emasculated, right? You're afraid that she's going to laugh at you, or she's going to talk to her friends about this and they're going to laugh about this, right? But the truth of the matter is that even if that were the case, right, that's a reflection on her, not you, especially if you're open and honest about it. Like we just talked about, hey, I'm in my head right now, right? If you're with a partner who can't understand that, you may be with the wrong partner. You might want to look at that, right? Because the more pressure that is put onto you, the less likely it is you're going to perform the way that you want anyway. So keep that in mind, right? You deserve a partner that is supportive of you. And this happens to every guy. That's another thing to keep in mind. I mean, try getting erect or turned on when your dog dies. Okay. Just not going to happen. There are things going on in your life that can affect you in your performance. It could be bad sleep. It can be a bad experience. It can be all kinds of things that can affect this. And it affects every man at some point. Problem is it affects us and then we get in our head about it. So the next time we go in the bedroom, we're more likely to have an erection failure. That's why this video is so important, is that performance anxiety is an insidious thing that can be kind of difficult to tease out once you develop it. And make sure you're having fun with this and not taking it too seriously, because then she'll start taking it seriously. Instead, make the whole I'm in my head at the moment thing, and then just grab her, come here, you're so sexy, man. And just play with her and lighten it up a little bit and kind of wrestle around, just have some fun and relax, and things are much more likely to come back online again. Now, another one that is not thought about a lot, but gut inflammation. Research has shown that there is a strong correlation between gut inflammation and anxiety, any kind of anxiety, performance anxiety, especially social anxiety, and IBS, which is a form of gut inflammation. has been shown to cause erectile dysfunction. So we want to make sure we're taking good care of the gut too. It's not just all mental, it's an ecosystem once again, right? This all goes together and works as an ecosystem to produce the performance that we really want to have in the bedroom. The gut's an important part of that. It's not just mental. Now, what are some things we can do in addition to things we just talked about to, minimize this performance anxiety and be more relaxed when we go in the bedroom? Well, one of which is just slow down, take a breath, relax, slow down, and be present. Okay. If you think about anxiety like a squirrel is constantly like looking around like that, right? Really jerky movements. We want to have the opposite. We want fluid, slow, relaxed movements and just sink into the present so that we can fully enjoy it. We can get immersed. We can get into the flow state with our partner. I've also seen this a lot with my clients and it's happened to me in the past too, is like you're losing some erection hardness. So you start speeding up, right? Instead of slowing down. And by speeding up, because you think, well, I need to get the hardness back. And by speeding up, it tends to just bring on premature ejaculation. Whereas if you would have slowed down, right, and made your strokes much slower, then you can tune into all those wonderful pleasure sensations that you can feel when you're going slower and you're not feeling when you go faster. It's the opposite of what a lot of guys, how they approach this. But you won't overcome anxiety by going faster. You'll overcome anxiety by going slower and fully savoring and enjoying the experience. Now, with performance anxiety on F3, we're talking about the focus portion, right? Primarily what we're focused on in our mental state when we're in the bedroom. Focus is so important because it is what feeds the erections in the bedroom. We talked about this earlier, right? So being focused, so what you want to focus on is what turns you on. What is it specifically about your partner that turns you on? Focus on those things. What is it that you want to do with your partner? Focus on those things. The pleasure. If she's pleasuring you, are you fully focused on that? Are you fully enjoying that and getting lost in that amazing experience? Are you focused on feeling connected with your partner versus being focused on your performance? We talked about that earlier, but it needs to be reemphasized because when you're in the bedroom, it really does all come down to focus. What are you focused on? Are you focused on your performance, your erection quality, your lasting power, which takes away food supply from your erections? Or are you focused on what turns you on, the pleasure that you're feeling, and the connection with your partner, all of which increase erection quality and give you the actual juice that your performance needs? How you handle any sort of erection failures in the bedroom makes a tremendous difference on what's going to happen in that experience as well as what's going to happen in the future. Once again, this happens to all guys. So kind of keeping that in mind and having a no big deal attitude and just get into enjoying her. So you can focus in on her pleasure, focus in on her while you're recuperating, right? And it doesn't even have to be sexual. You can just focus on bonding with her at that point, connecting with her, being present with her in that moment, right? When you don't do that, when you get in your head about it and you start pouting about it or getting nervous about it, you turn around, you disconnect from her, it's going to make everything worse. Not only in that experience, because now you made it a big deal for both of you. And also you're in your head. Now she doesn't know what to do, right? You kind of put the onus on her. She's wondering if she did anything wrong or you're not attracted to her anymore. None of this stuff works in your favor, right? So relax, connect with her, or give her some sexual pleasure, right? As you're recuperating for this thing, because you're robbing both of you when you don't do that, right? She's going to follow your lead right? So if your lead is no big deal, it happens sometimes, has nothing to do with you. Hey, I'm going to give you some fun or whatever it is at that moment, right? And then you stay and enjoy and genuinely enjoy the experience, right? That's going to help bring you both out of that much, much better than if you disengage, right? And get all upset about it, right? That's not only going to tank that experience, but it's going to make your next experience much more likely that you're going to have performance anxiety again. Now, another really powerful thing you can do is be sensate focused, right? Focus on the five senses because that will keep you immersed in the experience. That's a big reason why, traditionally romantic things are like low light, like candlelight and soft music. And because it puts you into the mood and it keeps you in the experience because there are sensory things that you can focus on that are enjoyable and relaxing and allow you to get immersed in this sexual experience rather than getting in your head, right? So these things, they help keep you out of your head, right? In focusing on all those senses, right? How she looks, how sexy she looks, how she smells, how she tastes, what she sounds like, all of those things, right, can help keep you in the experience rather than you getting in your head and getting into performance anxiety. Another thing that you can do is just make sure you're relaxed before you go into the bedroom to begin with, right? You can do some meditation. You can do some vibratory breathing, which we talked about in the last video. You can do some stretching, some foam rolling, anything that gets you to relax will help you when you go into the bedroom because relaxation is the opposite of anxiety. And another thing is, she chose you. You chose her, right? You guys want to be together. Sometimes you can lose perspective of that. So since she chose you, you should always assume green light, right? Because this puts you also into your masculine, right? Women always talk about they want to be swept off their feet, right? And they don't even say where they want to be swept to. It's the very fact that you're sweeping her off of her feet, right? That makes her feel feminine, that you're taking the lead and you're assuming that she's going to love it, right? That's what I mean by assume green light. A lot of times guys will put the brakes on for her, right? Assume she's not going to like something. Assume she's going to like everything. But then this goes along with this concept of leading and reading, right? So you go for what you want, but you're always reading to make sure she's into it, right? If she's not into it, then you make some adjustments, right? But you still lead her in the direction of your desire, right? That's like a dance, right? There's a leader and a follower. And that's masculine, feminine, right? Masculine and feminine is leading and following. It doesn't have to be male, female, but it's masculine, feminine energies that are doing that. And when you're doing the lead, when you're following your desires and you're going in the direction you want to go, she's going to feel that. She's going to feel that you're really enjoying her, that you're taking her and ravishing her in the way that you want, right? But you're always reading, right? You're making adjustments when needed, but you're also always assuming green light and going for what you want. And this will keep you in the experience. And you actually doing the things that you want, right, will feed your erections. Okay. So keeping you in the experience takes care of the performance anxiety. You going for what you want feeds the erections so you don't have the erection failure from performance anxiety. Another thing that works extremely well is dirty talk. Dirty talk keeps you both in the experience, right? So by definition, you're not in your head thinking about all this things that could go wrong, all these things that could go wrong. Instead, you're thinking about erotic, arousing things and you're vocalizing those to your partner. So it's keeping you both in a state of arousal, which is feeding your erections. It's getting her more turned on. It's getting you more turned on. And it's keeping you both focused on the experience. Very powerful technique. Highly recommend it. And another thing you can do, just simply take a break when things aren't going the way you want. You don't have to keep plowing through. Just take a moment and enjoy your partner, stroke her face, look in her eyes, right? Bond with your partner during this time, right? It doesn't all have to be about intercourse. All right. And another thing you can do is use morning wood to your advantage. We talked all about morning wood in the last video I made. I have many clients do this, right? Where especially ones that have a lot of performance anxiety, but their morning wood is good, right? The nice thing about when you wake up with morning wood is if you're already hard, start putting that to use. And then you start training your body and your mind, your subconscious mind, that, yeah, this is no big deal. We can do this. So then you can start doing it more outside of just morning sex, right? But if you got good morning wood, put it to good use, and that will help prepare you for more evening sex, right? When the mind and emotions are more involved. Okay, I know. Performance anxiety can be a little complicated, right? Or at least it seems complicated. But anytime we're dealing with the mind, especially if we're trying to address it on our own, it can be very complicated because we all have our own blind spots that we don't see. And that performance anxiety got there in different ways for every individual's. So what I said at the very beginning of this video is one of the easiest ways to get there, quickest ways to get there, is just book a short call, right? So I am temporarily opening up some calls. I got a link below. We'll talk about your situation briefly, and I can give you an idea of where I think this is coming from and what you might be able to do about it, right? So I offer assessments, coaching, as well as other products and services that could potentially help with you. And even if I can't, I can help direct you in a direction that where you can get some help, right? You'll have something that you can do by the end of that call. And it is a quick call, 15 minutes or less. And for a limited time, you can book one for yourself. Think about it. You now know why you might feel anxious and some potential underlying issues. But when that anxiety hits in the moment, you need fast acting tools to regain control. Learning quick nervous system hacks provide you with those powerful tools. So you can click here to watch this brand new video that I've made exactly on that. Learning these quick nervous system hacks so that you can instantly dial down your stress and feel more at ease. So click here now to watch quick nervous system hacks for instant relaxation. And I'll share some of the most simple and effective techniques you can use anytime, anywhere, especially in the bedroom.